to Aren't You Tired Of podcast, and we are here to solve your problems, help you with all the things that you're tired of. And today, we want to take a few reader questions. And so Mark and I are just going to talk through and try to answer these as best we can. These are some of the ones that have come in. We hope you send us some more.
Yeah.
First question. I have a hero manager. He creates chaos and then swoops in at the last minute to save the day when it never needed to happen in the first place. How do I deal with this person?
Wow. You know, when I think about that, I will say something to you, to that listener, that is just a super talk straight. You've got to figure out a way to bring that to the manager's attention. I have observed, are you open to an observation? I've observed that, we kind of had this situation, you made these decisions, and then, it kind of doesn't go well. And then I notice that you're coming in and doing these things. I'm, finding that is having an impact on me.
Yeah.
And being able to support and talk. You just have to figure out in your own way to talk straight. What, I mean.
Agree. I agree with that. I think the other thing I would add to it is to counterbalance as best you can with a lot of pre-planning. Yeah. So in other words, if you know somebody has those tendencies, loves to create chaos, loves to swoop in the last minute, pre-plan the heck out of it. Have multiple meetings, discussions that they are involved in. Here's what we're going to do. Are you good? Here's what else do you need? Almost try to counterbalance. You still may have some of it, but I think that those two things are probably, one is proactive and trying, and the other one is if you get there, just shoot straight. Like a lot of last minute stuff, I feel like we could have done a better job, but we could have anticipated.
The pre-planning is the thing on that one.
Pre-planning is key.
Yeah.
I do think that's key. Okay.
You got another
These
one?
are quick. I've got several questions
another one?
here.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I might be a little addicted to busy, but my problem is I'm in a culture that's addicted to busy. It's very fast-paced. How can I recenter myself when I'm in this environment?
Vitamins and supplements.
Exactly. That is hard.
Get your protein.
I agree.
It's hard because if that's what the organization rewards, then that is what they're going to reward and what they expect. And so the one thing I'll say super quick is what word that comes to mind for me is boundaries. Totally. You've got to figure out like what's going to work for you. How do you kind of ring fence your time and figure out a way to get the things done that are important? How to get some work done through others if that's a possibility.
Totally agree. And I think in that, I will say I've been in those environments and you are not going to change the environment. So you got what you got, but I think you got to figure out, how do you surf your way through it? So for me, I would always be, if I had an event at school, if I had a personal priority, I wouldn't get into, I've got to go to the thing at school and I've got to do the thing. I was like, I'm not available between 2 and 4 on Thursday, but how about we talk Thursday morning? Just more try to really, those boundaries don't have to be visible to everybody.
Right.
I think you got to realize too, how do you have the highest impact you can while still knowing what are my boundaries that are my must-haves. I have to have dinner with my family most of the time. There are exceptions. Yeah. But I want dinner with my family. Yeah. Whatever it is.
It's important.
Know what those are and work them in your own way. You don't have to have a megaphone on telling everybody what you're doing.
You don't have to tell everybody. Sometimes you just have to say, I'm not available. But you figure out how to do that. And then I'll just say this, listener, we do teach people how to treat us.
We do.
We do teach people how to treat us. So
yeah. And I think on the flip, as an example, if you are in industry that, it could be investment banking, it could be, a real estate agent that is a 24/7 deal, then it just is. You just have to know. And if you want a much more manageable, flexible life, maybe that's not the culture you want to be in long term. That's a bigger discussion. But that's a good one. Number 3. Yeah. Speaking of addicted to busy, I think I'm addicted to my phone.
Who isn't?
My phone is my best friend. How can I break this cycle?
Oh my gosh.
We need the answer to this one, Mark.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was watching, I was on the gram and I was, scrolling and Jay Shetty, this is interesting. If you know Jay Shetty, he's a great thinker and encourager. And he said, the first 60 minutes of your day, don't look at your phone, is what he said. The first 60 minutes of your day. And I was like,
very
60
guilty.
minutes?
I can't do it.
I mean, I picked it up. That was the first thing I did. And he said, don't look at your phone because you're starting to set a pattern and a way for how your day is going to go. If you pick up and there's some urgency or there's a text, you're teaching immediate response.
Yeah.
Let me do this. And you're teaching yourself for the first moments of your day on how to be. But I also think if you are addicted to it and it is a problem, then okay, make the change that you want to be and see and set some limits.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the hard part, on your phone is also your source for everything. It's how you book your travel. It's how you check the news. It's how everything you want to do in life. You gotta pay Zelle, whatever it is, you do it on your phone. And I know one thing, not that I do this, I am a little addicted to my phone, but is make sure I know I'm shifting from using my phone for purpose to just messing around and scrolling.
That's true.
And sometimes it might be, hey, I'm going to do some games on here.
Yeah.
But notice when you start, and it'd be like, okay, in about 30 minutes, I'm gonna just put it down and try to do something else. It is a darn hard thing because you use it for so many things that matter. You're not just using it all the time, just scrolling around on TikTok.
Right.
But you have to figure out. Create what boundaries? We talk about boundaries all the time on this show.
We do. We're always talking about boundaries.
Yeah. But I do think that is a really important and start to change some of those habits, no matter what it is.
No matter what it is, right?
First in the morning or whatever.
I think we talk about, that's an important point. We talk about boundaries a lot because when you're tired of something, you need to take a step back.
You got to take a step back. Small changes.
That's right.
Be like, some kids, they have to go plug their phone in the kitchen starting at 8 p.m. Maybe be your own parent.
Maybe that's you. Be your own parent yourself.
Parent yourself. Plug your phone in the kitchen.
That's right.
Leave it there. That is a hard thing. We get it. We get it.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Number 5. And this one I have a lot of empathy for this.
Yeah.
I'm job searching and I'm exhausted. How can I possibly stay encouraged, proactive, and keep my mind right?
Oh, you know what? I have always heard this at some point, started hearing in my career, and it's like finding a job is a job. That old adage. I was talking with someone who's currently in the job market, someone that, was a work colleague of mine and a friend now. And I told them something that I learned, and it's as you're networking, right? Because it's important to network, and it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
If you meet someone and ask for a job, you get advice. If you ask for advice, you might just get a job.
That's really good.
And so that is
introduction to a job.
Yeah, an introduction to a job, and I'm kind of truncating it. But typically when you go in asking for, I'm here for a job. Do you have a job for me? A lot of job hiring managers, they'll lock down because they may not. But when you come in more open and seeking and, the give and the take, it may persuade them to say, you know what, this is someone who I need to figure out how to encourage and bring in. So I don't know, just, ask for a job, get advice, ask for advice, you just might get a job.
Yeah. I think also the mindset of you have to get, accept rejection it's going to be brutal. And there's going to be a lot of rejection. There's going to be people who you think, God, that went great.
Yeah.
I think Mark's probably I'm definitely making the next round, and you never hear from Mark again.
That's right.
It is the jungle out there.
Yeah.
And I think your expectations, we know that when our expectations are out of sync with reality, that creates high stress. So expect it's going to take longer than you think.
Yeah.
Expect that you're going to be disappointed. You're going to have a lot of rejection. And look, how do I manage that? I think also talking to other people who are looking that can be encouraging to each other, distract from it. I think also helping, create your day so that you have X amount. I'm going to work on this. Job searching.
Yeah.
Job searching is we could have a whole topic on that.
That's right.
Of how to, and you're giving examples of some of the things. But make sure your day is X amount of time I'm going to spend on that. And then, I'm also going to go, I'm going to go to yoga class. I mean, whatever those other things are that help you
That's right.
stay centered.
Break it up and stay centered and pour back into yourself.
Pour back into yourself and just know it's brutal for everybody. You are not alone in that. And it's a hard thing and we feel for you.
We do. One quick thing I'll also add, Patti, before, do we have another question on that?
We have one more.
One more. I have another thought on that. And that's also, are you searching for the right kind of next opportunity?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Because it may just be, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I think I can do. But this might also be your moment to make the pivot.
It could be.
It
could be. Or I'm a big believer in you don't want to give up. You got to be determined, but look for signals from the universe. You know, that this door seems to be open a little easier than that one. What do I want to make of that?
That's right.
It's a hard thing. We should probably have a conversation about that on one of our podcasts. Okay, this is our last question I'm going to ask.
Okay.
And it kind of gets back to someone who is at a job. How do I know when it's time for me to make a change? I'm not very happy in my job. But how do I know if it's time for me to actually leave and go do something else?
That's right. Well, maybe if we could get the listener from the previous question to talk to this current listener, if we could make a match.
We could do a swap.
Yeah. So the person that's tired, right, maybe they need a little break.
They need a break.
And then the one that's looking for the job can come on in. Wow. That's when it's time to say goodbye, when it's time to call it. Well, are we saying it's time, not retire, but you're just saying I'm in a job right now and it's time for a change?
That's what the question is.
Yeah. Well, I
think time to make a change.
Time to make a change. Well, I always come back to one thing I'm telling people and leaders I'm working with is what's your North Star? What do you aspire to do? And if what you're doing right now is not getting you one step closer to that next opportunity, then that's probably the signal to make the change. And then also, did you say, I'm not going to get this right, but you said something like, if you're the smartest or most knowledgeable person in the room, right, it's time to find another room.
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And so, if you're starting to feel that way and you're not growing, then it's time to, it is time to do something else, but don't run to something, right? Don't run away. You want to be running to.
Yeah. I think that's important. It's not like, I don't want to do that anymore. Well, what is it that matters to you?
Yeah.
I also, one of the things I know I've coached people of, apply for some other jobs, go interview.
Yeah.
I can speak for myself. Before I started my own business, I went and interviewed for another job at a competitor.
Yeah.
And talk about a gut instinct. Like, why would I do that? Either I want to do something different.
That's right.
I'm a big believer in, also you can appreciate just the mental of, I could leave here if I want to.
Right.
I could leave.
That's right.
Sometimes can make you think, I'm just tired of this thing and I don't appreciate some of the things that are here, but now I do.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in, if you aren't sure, apply for some other positions.
Yeah.
Get out there a little bit.
Yeah.
See how you feel inside interviewing for another position. I always say to people, interviewing is not leaving.
That's right.
Those are two different decisions.
Right.
But you're looking for some input into, especially if you've worked somewhere a while, it's stale. I'm tired of this place.
That's right.
Tired.
Yeah. And assess if, you may just be burnt out too.
That's
Maybe you just need to take a break. And if, your company has a situation where you can, step back, a little bit or make some different decisions. One of the things that comes to mind that I'll say is sometimes it's also about being brave and just saying, I am burnt out. I mean, I love what I do, but I've just been doing it too much.
Yeah.
And so now I'm ready to maybe just take a step back.
And I think also, is it the organization you're in, or is it the role?
Yeah.
I think it really.
That's right. Is it your manager?
Is it your manager?
Yeah.
We've talked a lot. We have an episode about bad managers.
Yeah.
What is it that's causing the rub? Because if you know the answer, if it's your manager, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Is it the company? I love the company, but I'm really tired of this role. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is out there? So I think you got to, figure out, get your gut instinct and knowing what you really think about it instead of just, I'm just tired of this.
Right.
Okay. Poke on that a little
That's
bit,
right. Right.
So with that, that's our last question for the day that we have time for. please send others in.
Yeah.
And it was great to kind of go through those. Some of those could deserve a little bit more time, which we'll do that in a future episode.
Yeah.
So you all have a great week and hope that you aren't too tired of anything.
Not too
Thanks
tired.
for joining us.
Take care, y'all. Bye.
Bye.